You shop till you drop in Japan, hand over your passport at the register, and the staff says, "Sorry, that process doesn't work anymore." In 2026, Japan is rolling out a series of rule changes that every traveler needs to know about. Tax-free shopping, train passes, hotel bills, and even flights. It's all changing. If you're planning a trip to Japan, watch this video first. 1. Tax-free shopping. Let's start with shopping. Until now, the system was straightforward. Show your passport at the time of purchase, complete the tax-free procedure, and you'd pay with the 10% consumption tax already removed. Depending on the store, this could be handled right at the register, or you might need to stop by a dedicated tax-free counter. That system changes completely on November 1st, 2026. Under the new rules, you pay the full tax-inclusive price at the time of purchase. Then, when you leave Japan, you scan your passport at a kiosk at the airport and receive your refund all at once. The kiosk automatically matches your passport to your purchase records, so the process itself isn't complicated. But make sure you give yourself enough time at the airport before your flight. 2 things to keep in mind. First, you must leave Japan and complete the refund procedure within 90 days of your purchase. Second, always hold on to your receipts. If you miss the deadline or lose your receipts, the refund is gone. There's no way to claim it afterward. Also, during 2026, some stores may still be using the old system while others have switched to the new one. It's worth checking when you shop. And one more thing, duty-free shops inside the departure zone at the airport are not affected by this change. Those work exactly as before. There's also good news. Previously, cosmetics, food, and other consumables were tracked in a separate category with their own rules. Under the new system, all items are combined into one total. The minimum spend of 5,000 yen per store still applies, but it's now easier to reach that threshold. If you're visiting Japan before October 31st, the current system still applies. If you're coming in November or later, make sure to build the airport refund process into your departure plan. We'll be putting out a dedicated video on this closer to the November switchover, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. 2. JR Pass price increase. Next, let's talk about getting around. The JR Pass is an unlimited rail pass for foreign visitors, covering Shinkansen bullet trains and most JR lines across Japan. It must be purchased outside of Japan before your trip and gives you unlimited rides on JR trains for the duration of your pass. Starting October 1st, 2026, the price is going up again. The 7-day ordinary pass increases from 50,000 yen to 53,000 yen. This comes on top of a nearly 70% price hike back in 2023, so costs have risen significantly over the past few years. One important thing to understand is that the JR Pass isn't always the best deal. It really depends on your itinerary. If you're only doing a round trip between Tokyo and Kyoto, buying individual Shinkansen tickets will actually be cheaper. But if you're planning a longer trip across multiple cities, Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, Kanazawa, or down to Kyushu, then the pass is much more likely to pay for itself. Always do the math based on your own route before buying. If you're traveling to Japan from October onwards, buying before October 1st lets you lock in the current price. It's worth planning ahead. 3. Accommodation tax and dual pricing. A quick word on hotels. Accommodation taxes are being introduced and expanded across Japan. In Kyoto, a tiered lodging tax came into effect in March 2026, with rates based on the price of your room. At luxury hotels, the surcharge can exceed 10,000 yen per night. Beyond Kyoto, over 20 municipalities across Japan, including Hokkaido, Osaka, Okinawa, and Hiroshima, have either introduced or approved similar taxes, with more expected to follow. For budget stays, the additional cost is usually just a few hundred yen, so it won't make a big difference. But if you're planning to stay at a higher-end hotel, it's worth checking the tax in advance so there are no surprises at checkout. Admission fees at tourist attractions are also changing. Himeji Castle introduced a dual pricing system in March 2026, where local residents and non-local visitors pay different rates. This kind of two-tier pricing is likely to spread to other popular destinations. Before visiting any major sites, it's a good idea to check the latest admission fees ahead of time. 4. Departure tax. Japan's international departure tax, sometimes called the sayonara tax, is tripling from 1,000 yen to 3,000 yen per person starting July 1st, 2026. The tax is automatically included in your airline ticket, so there's nothing to pay separately at the airport. It's a small amount for a solo traveler, but for families, it does start to add up. 5. Flight prices and what's ahead. Finally, a word on flights to Japan. Tensions in the Middle East in early 2026 have sent jet fuel prices surging worldwide. Disruptions to oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz caused fuel costs to nearly double in a short period of time. As a result, many airlines have raised their fuel surcharges, and international airfares have gone up by around 7 to 8% on average. Flights to Japan are no exception, particularly on routes from Southeast Asia and Western countries. There's no clear sign that the situation will fully stabilize anytime soon, and prices could remain elevated through the summer. That said, if conditions settle down, fares could gradually come back down over the following months. If you're planning a trip to Japan, keep a close eye on airfare and be ready to make a decision sooner rather than later. How was that? 2026 is a year of change for Japan travel, but none of it needs to catch you off guard if you know what's coming. Tax-free shopping procedures, JR pass timing, accommodation taxes, the departure tax, and flights. Keep everything we covered today in mind, and you'll be well prepared for your trip. Earth Japan will continue bringing you the charm of Japan and the latest travel information. See you again in the next video. Bye! See you!